Okay, year 11. Topic 14, the impact of IT on the business communication world. Lots changed since I was in year 11, so let's look at some of the things you might get asked for in your exam. 2-mark question, ICT, what is it? Well, it's basically no more than what you know already, information and communication technology, and it has been quite revolutionary in the way we have made changes. Mainly it's through software applications. They've allowed you to create more responsibility on the worker as they've got more powerful tools to work with, such as all the Word, Excel, databases and PowerPoints that you're used to in your school life. Companies have similar. These tools also let people carry out sophisticated processes for themselves. Then came the internet, and when the internet arrived, it allowed people to send the communications quicker. Obviously they didn't have to write letters anymore, send faxes or send telexes. Instead of doing all that, they very much just penned an email and pinged it across, and you could get to the other side of the world at the speed of light. So quite massive in terms of communication. For a small business working from home, they could build a web page, build an image and a brand, and nobody knew it was a small startup business working out of a garage or a spare room. So the internet was very powerful for business. Then, as you know, came Amazon about 10 years ago or more, and initially selling books, but now selling everything through their own supply chain and their marketplace. Then we had a search engine called Google that decided to take on the rest of the world, and then came mobile phones, initially just texting and making phone calls only, but then that was replaced finally with smartphones and the apps that followed. So it's been quite transformational in terms of what has happened and how we can now video stream, use apps to access websites, and basically allow people to shop anywhere, anytime, on the way to work, on the way home from work, and as long as they've got a Wi-Fi signal. This allowed also for the development of teleworking. Sorry about that, don't know what's going on with the screen. And teleworking, call centres particularly, allowed a whole industry to set up where people actually employed other people to take orders and provide customer service, advice and information. Call centres originally set up in the UK, where lots of people were working under one roof, supplying services to lots of different customers, and then there was a trend of call centres moving away from the UK to India and China, and recently those call centres have been criticised for not having particularly great English speaking people, or people that were competent in dealing with people's money and services. So there's a trend for those moving back now. Social media is your generation, allows for free, often cheap promotional activity. As you know from Unit 1 control assessment, this promotional activity that attracts people's attention, gets people interested, creates a desire and achieves sale activity. So any 9-mark questions you might have on this topic. Social media is massive for small and large businesses to create quicker and cheaper awareness of what a business has to offer. If you link up social media such as Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Foursquare, Vimeo, to name a few, Blogger, Yelp, Tumblr, YouTube, there's a powerful array of promotional campaigns that people can use and send messages out. And if a business has quite a few million followers across its social media platform, it can quickly grow awareness, word of mouth, and sell many products. What would have cost millions of pounds years ago to promote is now quite cost effective, and only hundreds of pounds today, if that. So that's the summary of technology. For those 6 and 9-mark questions that you might get on it, obviously ICT makes people more productive in the workplace, and they can actually produce better quality presentations. They can share information quickly. There's a large amount of information that they can process quickly, and they can share that information with lots of customers at reasonable cost. and there's more freedom. It allows people to work at home, so you don't have to pay for office space. Give people more flexibility, which is motivational, and people can get access to people when they're on holiday, on the trains, in the car. So lots of cost savings, lots of motivational opportunities there to save the business money and motivate the workforce. Obviously some 6-mark, 9-mark disadvantages would include workers need training to use the technology efficiently, and that costs money. Expensive to invest in computer technology and software packages, be them made for the company or off the shelf. And also people need servers that have to be installed and paid for. Workers need to be aware of the health and safety issues of using technology, and employers need to make sure that the workers are using technology safely and that their workstations are carefully risk assessed. But the other big disadvantage is obviously hackers can sometimes steal information and credit card details, and this happens all the time. Northern Telecom, big American company, lost all its copyright materials because somebody hacked into it, and a multi-billion-pound company overnight was worth nothing. Regarding the government, if there's any questions on the government and ICT, obviously the government's legally positioned to set laws to protect people, and the Data Protection Act is one of those laws that entitles people to have privacy of their data details that are saved electronically. Organisations that use ICT within them need to comply with health and safety legislation, and governments have a responsibility to provide super fast broadband so we can compete on a global stage. In terms of technology on the workplace, obviously we've said already that people can work from home. Workers can contact people quickly from many different methods. Reports can be created from home and shared with other people at home. So this home working is quite a massive thing now for many people in industry. People can attend meetings from home through Skype and through video conferencing and FaceTime even on a personal basis, which costs no money. When I was your age, a video conferencing suite to install in an office block would have been about £25,000 to £35,000. You can now do it from a handset or a webcam and a computer. And online conference calls are obviously quite significant and save people a lot of money in terms of flying, train trips, car trips, to and from conferences, hotel accommodation. So it's massive. Also in terms of hours of work, people are no longer required to work Monday to Friday 9 to 5. They can work from home, have days at home, working from home, and people can be paid well for not being in the office, providing and producing results. And many people now actually companies may save a lot of money through this. But you've got to be careful because your workforce could be working from 5 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night, which is not good for their work-life balance. The big 9-mark questions on ICT in the workplace would generally revolve around the fact that our technology generally speeds up, doubles in speed and purchase power every 10 years. At the moment we're working on 64-bit technology, but that seems to be 128-bit technology, which will bring in with it more software, more computer power. And technology has basically made it possible for people to work mainly from home, outside the office, saving money, increasing motivation, and allowing them to work with greater concentration in a nicer place. However, we've already said working from home has its drawbacks as well as its advantages. People need to manage how much work they do. Other companies prefer face-to-face contact with their customers rather than people that can actually speak to them over Skype and internet connections. And some businesses need to be located close to their customers. So if you need to be close to your customers, clearly dealing with customers over the internet is not going to be great. But internet support companies and broadband support companies that can access people from online and dial into their network system to fix it could be just fine. So I think we've covered everything we needed to cover on IT in the business environment. I hope you liked a bit of Jack Johnson in the background there. Thanks a lot for listening.